Welcome back to the studio where greatness begins, and today is part 3 of our creativity challenge where I'm going to show you from start to finish. Let's get into it. And before I start any artwork, I would set a 50% gray background. Reason being is because I'm working in the dark sometimes, or you just being in front of the computer. Having a white background sometimes blinds you. Like it's so bright, so that's why I would usually set a 50% gray background. And I would usually start with a really rough kind of extreme sketch here. Don't be afraid to have your sketches as messy as this, because at the end of the day, who's gonna see it? Well, except if it's me showing you right now. So after this step, I would have it a bit more detailed. So this is what you would call a tie down or your more detailed sketch. So I would go in and I would start to find my shapes, how they're gonna look. I would start adding features, more minute details, like for instance what's going to be on the clothes, though it's not necessarily meant to be all that clean as well. You're still sketching, it's still messy. As you can see, the lines here, it's still messy. So this is just your tie down. It's for you to have a better understanding of what you're trying to make, right? And after that stage, you would have the line art stage. But my line art thing that I have right now, my layer, it's looking like this because what I have done was I merged all of these miscellaneous layers together, because it was getting to a point where I had like a ton of layers. So this is why my line art layer is looking like this, but usually you would only have the black bits, and I specifically went with a heavy black shaded look for this piece because I intend to do something with it in the future. Hopefully it will look cool. So this is my line art layer, and usually after that I would just have my flats layer. So under your flats layer, all that's going to be there is usually just your flat local colors, meaning your pure colors, where it's just, as you can see here, it's just one flat color, how you would like for instance the skin to look, the belt, the pants, the shoes, and all of that stuff is not influenced by any light or anything, so you won't see any light or shadows that I have here. And usually what's next, I would have a multiply layer with my shadows. It's basically a layer where I have this lilac magenta color that I would use to block out my shadows. And the reason why I would choose this color is because when it's lit from the sky, usually the shadows will take a bluish tint, cold, and I can get into that another time, but I'd usually use purplish bluish color for my shadows. The reason why I use purple is because it's a bit more warmer than blue, so it's almost in the middle. That's my mindset going into this. All right, so for the pants in this one, I wanted to experiment with a jeans texture, so I would take my clone tool and I would have like a texture over here, and then I would just clone the texture from the pants and getting all these nice details. And after a while of like me messing around with it, I was finally able to get something that I like, and ultimately something that looks good. After that, this is where you'd have the extra stuff. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to have it separated. That's my fault, but I should have, because I would have been able to break it down. But essentially I just have like my shadows, and then some like extra shadows, like these type of shadows. Like, so I have the dark one, this would be like a mid-tone almost, and then I'd have light, and then my highlights, where for the highlights I just went with a texture, half-tone texture. Yeah, because I like a half-tone texture. Yeah, it's nothing but that. It's just my decision, my choice, what I wanted to add to it. So yeah, and then I believe what's left is usually sometimes I would add a shine to my jewelry, something to grab attention. I just find it cool, to be honest. Most of the time, if you're seeing it in my pieces, I just added it because it looks cool, or it's just something that I like. And then for this one, just to post it for posting sake, I would add a bright yellow background, something that kind of pops in the moment I want it. And then I would just added some scribbles because I wanted to add a graphic background, because this piece took so long. Never had the time to necessarily design a background, that fancy stuff. So I just added some graphics, and then I would add a shadow. And yeah, that's all that there is to this piece. This one was inspired by my favorite rapper, Playboi Carti. So if you see some resemblance, that's where it's from. But I just wanted to basically stylize the heck out of it with my weird style. What I have going on is like his arms are extremely skinny, and then I would have like his leg being a tad bit more anatomically correct, if hearsay, but IRL, this isn't how it is, as you can see. But I just find it appealing, so that's why I would make those decisions. So yeah, you can see his arms are really skinny, and then like his body is more blocky. Me breaking it down, his arms are more blocky, yeah, and as I said, his legs are on the more anatomically hinted accuracy, because this is probably still not anatomically correct, and I know it's very stylized. Yeah, that's it for part 3 of our creativity challenge, so I'll see you on part 4. All right.